Hi guys, welcome back to Yellowhammer Outdoors. Today we're going to be talking about this custom Ruger American build. We're going to go over this gun from muzzle to butt pad and discuss everything that's been done to it. It is 100% custom. I built this over the summer as kind of a fun little project, and I wanted to do it as a wildcat round, as I mentioned in my last video. Today, I'm going to reveal what this is chambered in. So, to get started, I have here a 11/16 by 24 threaded barrel. Typically, you see that for the 450 Bushmaster. The reason I went with this thread pitch is because I also have 308 rifle, and it has 5/8 by 24 thread pitch. Because this is a much larger diameter than the 308, I never wanted to accidentally throw on a 30 caliber muzzle brake or something like that on this and have my rifle get damaged because of that. So the thread pitch on this is different, a little bit bigger, just to prevent any mishaps from happening. The barrel here is a stainless steel barrel from Excalibur Barrels. I do have a aftermarket barrel nut on this. This is from Pacific Tool and Gauge. As you know, the action here is a Ruger American action, Anarchy Outdoors bolt handle. My scope is from Primary Arms, and I do have Primary Arms rings on here. The stock, as you can see, is a Magpul Hunter stock with the AICS style magazines. This is a standard 7.62 by 51 mag. And then, of course, I did add the sections in here to lengthen my length of pull on this, so it comes out to about 15 inches with the butt pad. Now to reveal what this is chambered in. As you can see here, I have a standard 308 round, and I have this. This is a 375 Raptor. Essentially what this is it is a 308 case necked out to a 375 diameter and then shortened to accommodate those longer high BC bullets. I load this using benchmark powder. A 308 with about 43 grains of powder will shoot around 2,700, 2,750 feet per second depending on your barrel length. That same amount of powder in a 375 Raptor shoots at about 2,300 feet per second. Now you might be thinking, well, that's a lot slower. That's a good, 450 feet per second slower. But you have to remember, this is a much heavier bullet. This is a 275 grain bullet versus a 168 grain bullet. This carries a lot more energy than a 308 does, especially when you're considering 200, 300, even out to 500 yards. This retains a lot more energy than a 308 does. If you want to see the difference in these bullets, I'll show this to you here. Here we have a 168 grain 308. You can see that's a longer bullet. It has decent ballistic coefficient. This is the 275 Raptor. You can see it's about the same in length, but much larger in diameter. The boat tail, the design on this is also designed to be very high BC. Now, you might be asking yourself, why should I be interested in a 375 Raptor? Well, for me, it's pretty simple. One, it has a lot more energy. Two, it has very low recoil for the size bullet that you're shooting. And three, it is easily made from standard 308 bullets. Because I shoot suppressed, I wanted to look at something that would fit through this suppressor that I have here. This is a Bowers Group Verse 375. 375 means that's a diameter that it accommodates. Therefore, the 375 Raptor is a perfect companion to the Bowers Group Verse 375. Using full power loads at about 43, 44 grains of powder, there is hardly any recoil shooting this, and it's completely hearing safe with full power loads. One of the benefits of shooting the 375 Raptor, like I said, is the energy down range. It is massive, the wound cavity that the 375 Raptor creates. As long as you are shooting in the vitals and you got a good shot, good hit, you are almost guaranteed to have a 1-kill shot. I doubt that, what you hit with this will even take another step after you hit it, including hogs. This is a devastating round when it comes to hunting. There are people, if you can go to 375raptor.com and you can look at pictures, this caliber is being used in Africa, it's being used in the Midwest, it's being used, throughout North America for all kinds of game, and it is a really, really powerful round. That being said, I would limit it to about 300 yards. The energy at 500 yards and everything, it's way beyond what you need for a clean kill. But me personally, the bullet drop off, between 300 and 500, it really kind of starts to drop off. So when you start looking at adjustments and everything, that's something that I take into consideration. So 0 to 300 yards, you have a pretty good gun here that, depending on how you sight it in, you could do a point blank, shot between 0 and 300 and still be within those vitals, depending on how you zero everything in, if you zero a little bit high, and depending on what load you're shooting. I wanted to show you guys this because I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now I kind of want to rate what I did on here and if there's any things that I would do different. The barrel, first off, if I had to go with Excalibur barrels again, I would absolutely do it. One of the things about Excalibur barrels that I just absolutely loved when I was building this gun was their customer service. My original barrel that got sent out to me was actually lost by FedEx. I called Excalibur and immediately they told me, we will make sure that we get your barrel next in queue and we will have that sent out this week. And they did. My barrel was sent out 2 days after FedEx lost it, and I received it within 5 days of that happening. So I'm very thankful to Excalibur barrels for their customer service for doing that for me. Considering that they have a long wait, and I know that they are turning out barrels on a daily basis. They have a big backlog. I'm very grateful that they were able to accommodate me and do that for me. Next, I'm going to talk about my barrel nut that I went. Barrel nut is from Pacific Tool and Gauge. If I had to do this again, I would not use this barrel nut. This barrel nut is designed to work with your Savage style barrel wrenches, barrel nut wrench. And so as you can see here, it has the little Savage style grooves. That's great because I have Savage rifles and I have a Savage barrel nut wrench in my shop that I use to take barrels on and off on my Savage rifles. However, the way that this is oriented, the barrel nut wrench is designed to fit this way instead of coming on this way. That's useless to me with the action on here. You probably can't see, but the way that this is milled out is it stops right before the ramp here on the barrel nut. So if you try and put your barrel nut wrench going on this way to loosen this up, you're not going to get past the ramp onto the teeth right here that's needed to loosen it. I actually ended up having to use a wrench to fully tighten this down. There are other manufacturers out there that make barrel nuts for the Ruger American. There's one specifically that's designed to use a crescent wrench. And if I had to do it again, that's what I would go with. And I'm actually considering going ahead and ordering it and switching this out. As far as the action, do I have any regrets choosing the Ruger American action? Do I think I should have gone with maybe a Savage or a Remington action? I don't. I love my Ruger American Action. I love all of the aftermarket parts that support the Ruger American. I love being able to customize this any way that I want to, as far as stock options, trigger options, magazine options, anything that you can think of. There are parts for the Ruger American. Personally, I love the Magpul Stock, and that's why I decided to go with it again. I have it on my 308 that you can see back here, and I wanted to go with it, you know, again on this 375 Raptor build. Another cool thing about the 375 Raptor is that it uses standard 308 magazines. So the bullet fits perfectly in here. It feeds with absolutely no modifications to the AI style mags. If you are going to build a 375 Raptor on a AR platform, AR-10 platform, then the PMags, for example, for the AR-10, they will work, but they do require just a little bit of modification, a little bit of filing. But with your AI mags, they require absolutely no modification whatsoever. It feeds and functions properly, no loss of capacity in your magazine. So that is my Ruger American build, my custom build. I really, really, really love this gun, and I'm excited this coming hunting season to take it out, get in the woods with it, and be able to take some game with it. For my next video, I am going to rate budget scopes. As you can see, I have a primary arms 4x14 scope on here. This is the Arc 2 MOA. It is a first focal plane scope. It has an illuminated reticle with 6 settings depending on your daylight conditions. It has a parallax, and it has the turrets with the that shows your adjustments on here. So you don't have to worry about removing caps or anything like that to see your adjustments or to adjust. You can simply turn and you see exactly where your adjustments are with the numbers on here. Now, I also have a primary arms on my 308, and I have one on one of my ARs. However, there are other budget scope options out there. Vortex is considered a budget scope, and it is very, very popular. There are a couple of other brands that are out there that are also really good, you know, within that budget category. A lot of people you'll hear traditionally say that your scope should be worth more than your rifle. Well, when you're dropping $500, $1,000, $1,500 into a rifle, you know, dropping $2,000, $3,000 on a scope may not be realistic for a lot of people. It's certainly not realistic for me and what I'm wanting to accomplish. So, you know, I look at budget scopes and I compare them. In my next video, I'm going to discuss primary arms, Vortex, and a couple of other brands and kind of give my opinion on those and what I think the best deal out there is, you know, best bang for your buck. If you want to know more about budget scopes, stay tuned for my next video. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.